Hey everybody, it's John from the Hustle Daily Show. Before we get into the show today, did you know that HubSpot launched an AI chatbot that helps you build awesome campaigns at scale with just a few prompts? It's called Campaign Assistant, and it's a totally free-to-use AI tool made for marketers and business leaders who spend hours a day on content creation. Campaign Assistant will transform the way that you build marketing campaigns at scale. Craft personalized emails, ads, and landing pages in just a matter of minutes. Just pick the content type, add the key selling points, and let the AI take it from there. And the best part, it works seamlessly with all of HubSpot's marketing and sales tools to scale your output across email, social, and more. So AI your way into the most effective campaigns yet at HubSpot.com/campaign-assistant.
Howdy, folks. It is Tuesday, August 30th. I'm Jacob Cohen, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Later today, I'm going to be talking about a media company that's growing at light speed with a business model that spans ads, subscriptions, and consumer product brands, and is investing hundreds of millions producing original content across political talk shows, animated children's programming, cooking shows, movies, documentaries, and more. No, I'm not talking about HBO. I'm talking about conservative media brand The Daily Wire and its likely $1 billion valuation. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick look at what else is going on in the business and tech world. Let's get crack-a-lacking. All right, first things first, never mind. NASA canceled its Artemis 1 rocket launch after a few issues arose as teams prepared for launch yesterday morning, including one issue with an engine, which I'm not a rocket scientist, but I assume is important when launching something to the moon. The next possible liftoff date for the unmanned mega rocket is this Friday. Hopefully that goes well. Moving along, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has sued Kochava, a large location data provider, for allegedly selling data that the FTC says can track people at reproductive health clinics and places of worship. Samuel Levine, director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection, said, "Where consumers seek out healthcare, receive counseling, or celebrate their faith is private information that shouldn't be sold to the highest bidder." Elsewhere, WhatsApp is moving ahead in India with its strategy to turn the free messaging app into a cash cow. More people use WhatsApp in India than there are Americans that exist in the world, upwards of 400 million people by some estimates. And the company is launching in-app message-based grocery shopping there with partner GeoMart. Ordering, payments, it can all happen within WhatsApp there, which, as you can imagine, can be a pretty lucrative service, and this is the latest step made by Meta to monetize the messaging service. In other news, Eminem and Snoop Dogg transformed into their Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs in the middle of their performance at MTV's Video Music Awards, because of course they did, it's 2022. Also, venture capitalist Gary Tan will become Y Combinator's president starting next year. The preeminent VC firm has funded more than 3,500 companies to date and 80 unicorns valued at $1 billion or more. Not too shabby. Also, the federal government will stop mailing out free COVID test kits due to the fact that they have run out of money to give out free COVID test kits. And the last day to order them is September 2nd. So if you're in need of one, order now. All right, and with that, let's discuss the Daily Wire's media rocket ship. Okay, chances are, if you've been online, if you follow the political sphere at all, if you listen to podcasts, if you go on YouTube, yada, 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 you've probably come across content from Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring's The Daily Wire. The Daily Wire is a conservative media company founded in 2015 with $4.7 million in seed money from fracking billionaire Ferris Wilks. And they've built a humongous audience over the years, primarily around their cast of right-wing influencers. You know, fast forward a little bit to 2020, the Daily Wire moves their headquarters from Los Angeles to Nashville with around 75 employees. Fast forward to today, and the Daily Wire boasts 230 employees, $180 million in revenue. They're now expanding on all fronts, and they likely have one of digital new media's highest valuations, according to really interesting reporting from Puck News. For some context, let's consider some other recent digital media deals. Axios recently sold for $525 million on $100 million in revenue. The Athletic sold to the New York Times for $550 million, around 10 times their revenue. Politico sold for, I believe, a little more than $1 billion on $200 million in revenue. So when you're looking at something like the Daily Wire with a business as lucrative as it currently is, the business could probably very conservatively, no pun intended, notch a $1 billion or more valuation in the not so distant future. And 6 SPACs have actually already inquired the company about a Daily Wire IPO, taking the company public. Now, what's really interesting about the Daily Wire is that it operates like a mini Disney. And I say that because they have a diverse business model built around advertising, subscriptions, and increasingly consumer products, though they do not have a theme park just yet. The company has hired former Paramount and Disney talent to build out its streaming service, the Daily Wire Plus, which already has almost 1 million subscribers paying $8 to $14 a month. And the content pillars they're working on are also now expanding beyond what you might expect from a conservative media company. They're working on original films. They're spending $100 million over the next 3 years on children's programming. They have cooking shows that look like something you'd find on the Food Network. They're putting out original documentaries. They're expanding their influencer presence on TikTok for the younger generation. All that's to say, it's not just a conservative podcast and talk show media company. It's a much larger, differentiated operation, closer to something like a conservative mashup of The Ringer, BuzzFeed, and Netflix. And continuing on that line of differentiation and business growth, they also reportedly hired Tara Murphy, a former P&G and Keurig executive, to run their consumer product lines. Now, you might be wondering, what kinds of consumer products could they possibly be working on? And the answer is something like a product called Jeremy's Razors, which is a competitor product they launched out of spite after popular subscription grooming company Harry's Razors stopped advertising on the Daily Wire's platform for political reasons. And crazy enough, about 5 months since launch, Jeremy's Razors, this spite product, has already made $8 million on 100,000 people who subscribe to its service. What's interesting is, and the Daily Wire's team would be the first to say this, when companies back away from the Daily Wire's platform for political reasons, it's actually quite good for their business because it both strengthens their supporters' support and it also gives them opportunities to do viral things like launching something called Jeremy's Razors. And so this is just a really big, fast-growing media business that is sure to be part of the conversation for the foreseeable future. They're innovating in a lot of interesting ways, and not just in conservative media, but in media in general. And, they're a media business that we may even see go public in the coming years. So I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that. And bada bing, bada boom, that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We are a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig. Our executive producer is Darren Clark. I'm Jacob Cohen. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself subscribed at thehustle.co. Hope you have a terrific Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey guys, if you listen to the Hustle Daily Show on Google Podcasts, we want to let you know that the option will no longer be available pretty soon. Google is sunsetting its podcast app sometime in early 2024 in favor of YouTube Music, and we want to give you a heads up before it's too late since that time's almost here. The Hustle Daily Show is available everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're using YouTube Music, we are there as well. If you're an Android fan, there are plenty of apps like Overcast, Pocket Casts, Player FM, and more. So just search for us wherever you decide to listen to your favorite podcasts.